And what I learned from that whole experience was you're never stuck. Stuck is an illusion. You always have options, and your options are dictated by who you surround yourself with, and the quality of options you have in your life are dictated by your peer group. Achievement only proves one thing about a man, and that's how competent he is. So achievement only proves your competency. Adversity proves your character. And
That's
so
perfect.
you want to find out someone's character, go through adversity with them. But so, when I lost everything, $1.2 million in the property market 8 years ago, I found out who my real friends were. And some people just didn't support me, didn't want to be with me anymore, thought I was a loser, blah, blah, blah. And some people thought, no, I don't care what happens to this guy. I'm going to help him out and be with him regardless of whatever it is.
Brace yourself for a wild ride into the unexpected. This ain't your typical success show. I'm here talking to real folks who've been through it all, skipping the fancy business talk for authentic stories. We're diving into childhood dreams, teenage escapades, and everything in between. No scripts, just the stories that truly mold success. Each episode takes you on a journey through those breakthrough moments that paved their way. No fluff, just genuine stories. So whether you're chasing dreams or just love a good story, buckle up for wisdom, laughs, and the unexpected. This is the Breakthrough Podcast, where success is a journey, not just some fancy destination. Don't miss out. Hit the subscribe button now and join our Breakthrough crew. I got some incredible stories to share, and you won't want to miss a single one. Today, I've got a really special guest joining me all the way from Australia, Richmond Dinh. Now, if you've been around the entrepreneurial space, you've probably heard his name come up in rooms with some of the biggest players out there, Russell Brunson, Myron Golden, and Omar Aladdar. Richmond is a coach of coaches, helping entrepreneurs turn what they know into thriving businesses. What really stuck out to me when I first heard him was the authenticity behind his story. He's not just teaching theory. This is a guy who lost everything in real estate, went millions into debt, and instead of folding, bet the last of what he had on personal development, and that decision completely turned his life around. Today, he's built a multi-million-dollar coaching company, he's an author, and he's helping people all over the world grow their businesses faster by getting into the right rooms and surrounding themselves with the right people. Let's get into it. Richmond.
What's up, Steven? How you doing?
Thanks for joining, buddy. So back to our little beginning intro on jumping on. I know that we were going back and forth on time, how to get you on. And I was like, my podcast is typically Tuesday mornings at 10 a.m. And because you're in Australia, we got a different time zone. So we went to 5 o'clock. And like I was telling you, I have a ritual down. I got to get up, go to the gym. I got to run. I got to be mentally prepared because I don't know about you, but as the day goes on, when you're a business owner, by like 5 o'clock, I'm done.
I agree.
I'm done. So
yeah, you got to be present and switched on.
Yes.
Yeah, it is 10 a.m. Tuesday for me right now. So
yes,
yeah, legit.
So we're right on
Tuesday.
Yeah. So we're right on track. So to the audience and everybody, if I slip a little bit or I forget what I'm gonna say, just give me a break. It's 5 o'clock. I've had a million different fires. It's Monday too. So, Mondays are like putting out the fire days. It's like all these different things in the business. So yeah, I appreciate you jumping on this morning and for me. So how have you been?
Good, man. Good. Yeah. Well, how do you know Omar? What's the...
Oh, yeah. I want to go on that. So I know Omar through Neil. And Neil from the Forward Academy, he's really good friends with Omar. And so I've been following Omar for a while now. And you know what's interesting? Omar, Cody Sanchez, and Neil Forward Academy are like the top 3 people that pop up in my feed on an ongoing basis on Instagram. They're the only ones. It's very interesting. So they're doing something right, but you were on his podcast and something resonated with me on what you said. I knew it wasn't per se lining up with real estate investors, but there was something there, coaching, coaches, it clicked. And that's why I just immediately went to a DM, and that usually is how I do it. If I like what someone has to say, I go straight to the DM and I go, why not just put it out there? They either say yes, no, or ignore.
Yeah.
So
cool, man.
Yeah, yeah. How do you know Omar?
We're in the same coaching mastermind together.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
So what is that? What a coaching mastermind is it?
Myron Golden.
Mm, okay. So
Yeah.
you were just on were you on his plane recently? Did you go
Yeah,
somewhere with
yeah,
him?
yeah, 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 yeah. And I just was on his YouTube channel a couple of weeks ago as well, which will probably get released, I don't know, in a month or so.
Walk me through all that. So how'd you guys get synced up with him to do coaching?
Myron, well, I'm
Yeah.
in Myron's mastermind. I'm in a mutual mastermind with Myron, Russell Brunson's. And then that's how I met Myron. And then I joined Myron's mastermind. And then that's how I met Omar. So
Wow. Okay. So a lot to unpack there. How did you get connected with them in the first place?
with who?
With Myron and them?
Yeah, through Russell Brunson's mastermind.
Through, okay, through the
Through another
mastermind.
mastermind. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And so how has that played a big role in your business?
Dude, like you are who you spend time with, period. That's it. So everyone, I mean, this mastermind here, everyone is on a minimum 7 figures. And so you have to be a minimum 7 figures or $1 million a year to be in that group anyway. And so you're just hanging out with high level people and they're doing things really well in their business that you might not be doing, and you're doing things well in your business they're not doing, and you're just learning off each other. And yeah, that's how you grow a lot faster.
How long have you been in this mastermind?
4 years. Yeah, previous to that, I was in another
Mm.
mastermind for 4 years. So I've always been in a mastermind since I started my journey.
What made you get into a mastermind? What did you think you were going to get out of it? Like outcomes? Did you think being around the right people, you were going to get inside
100%.
tracks on business? Yeah. Yeah.
100%. 100%. Yeah. You will always be the average of your top five, period. Your income, your values, your business, everything about your life is always dictated by your social peer group. That's just how it is. And so that's why I love masterminds. I believe it's chapter 10 in Think and Grow Rich about the mastermind and utilizing your peer group and your environment, because you always raise your standards when you're having a peer group that's higher standard than you.
And how does that correlate with your friends that you currently have and like grow?
All my friends now are from people in masterminds. For example, we all know the story of people who were like millionaires or billionaires who went broke, and then within a matter of couple of years, they got it all back again. Like that happens almost all the time. Like it's very unlikely that a person that's already successful was a multi-millionaire or a billionaire that lost it all, that didn't get it back. Like they always bounce back. The converse is also true. We always, like, about over 90% of lottery winners who win the lotto lose it all within a couple of years. So what's the difference? It's their peer group. Because lotto winners don't change their peer group. They still stay friends with broke people, and so they eventually become broke. Successful people still have their peer group when they lose their money, and so they become rich again because all their friends are still rich. And so that's the power of proximity. But we also know in high school, like your parents like, don't spend time with this person, don't go out with this person, or someone there started out with great grades, and suddenly they're around year 9, when they were 15, 16, they started getting tattoos, piercings, getting into drugs, swearing back to the teachers, missing school, the grades drop, and it's always because they started spending time with the wrong people. Always, always.
Mhm.
And so I've always been a big believer that the most important decision that you've ever made in your lifetime is who you spend time with. And so for me, the reason why I joined masterminds is, I mean, it's good in theory. Like people say, oh, yeah, if I spend time with, people earning $1 million a year, then I'm going to be earning $1 million a year. But then where do I find those friends? And so how, you know what I mean? You can't just walk up to a stranger on the street and say, hey, would you like to be my friend? You look like a millionaire. So you basically buy into these groups already, and that's your peer group. That becomes your social circle. And so in a funny way, you are buying friends. It's kind of like being part of a country club
Mm.
in a golf club, and you start golfing with people who are there, and the membership there is like $20,000 or $25,000 or $50,000, whatever it is. And so everyone who had to pay $20,000 to be a member at that club, they're a very high level person. And so then you start playing golf with them, you make friends, and suddenly now all your friends are high level people, but you kind of have to pay to be in that community. So it's the same thing.
What was your light bulb moment when you joined?
How much you don't know, it's pretty scary on how much you don't No. I can't remember. I didn't make up this quote, but I've heard it so many times, and it's so true. The more successful you become, the more you realize you don't know, like how much you actually don't know. And there's a correlation to people who are not successful think they know it all, So yeah, it's really, and it's kind of quite scary. It's, wow, I did not know that. I had no idea that that was a thing.
Do you think that's more of a business owner type mentality and entrepreneurial? We're always intrigued and there's always so many different moving parts within business. But then you take somebody that's maybe a W-2 worker that really doesn't have to think out of the box on all those types of skill sets. Does that resonate?
Yeah. Well, it is an entrepreneurial mindset for sure, but it's also an intrapreneurial mindset too. So there are W-2 workers, there are 9 to 5ers, Monday to Friday, who, like, the majority of people think very blue, very square, 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, Friday 5 o'clock, I'm off to the pub. That's kind of the thinking. And I'm not going to work past 5 o'clock. If I do, I don't get paid. No, I'm not doing it. So most people think like that, and that's why they're stuck. Occasionally, you have your own business, or I guess real estate is kind of like a business. Like you had your team member here, right? Right before this call. But you will get a team member who doesn't count the hours, who doesn't think 9 to 5, who doesn't think Monday to Friday. And if you need something done on a weekend, they're just going to do it. And they're very proactive. They look for work. They're creative, but they don't want to start their own business. So that's an entrepreneurial mindset. So they treat your business like their own, but they don't want to start their own. And so they don't count hours. They don't do 9 to 5. They don't do Monday to Friday. So entrepreneurs also think like that. So even though they're not running their own business, but they think very differently. They're more outcome based rather than process based, and they don't count time, they count outcomes. That's how they count as reward.
Yeah, and they're risk averse. They can sit on the sideline and be part of yours, but they don't have to take on the stress of running a business, which comes with so many different moving parts to it.
Some people want to be the best sidekick. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. And, every superhero needs a sidekick. And some people are like, I just want to be the best sidekick. And that's awesome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Batman needs a Robin. I don't know who Spider-Man's sidekick is, but like Batman needs a Robin. And who else has a sidekick in superheroes? I mean, does Iron Man have a sidekick? I mean, Iron Man has a sidekick. He's got the other Iron Man person, so it's okay to be the best sidekick. And in actual fact, I would even argue that it's a huge advantage to be the best number 2, because then you don't have to worry about the fame and stuff. So for example, no one knows who the 2IC of Apple is, but he's a billionaire.
Right.
But no one knows who he is.
Yeah.
Right? Everyone knows Jim Cook. No one knows who the 2IC of Amazon is.
Yeah. That's true.
But they're a billionaire.
Right.
But they're the best.
And they put a ton of work in it on that business too.
Who's the 2IC for Tesla? No one knows. But they're a billionaire too.
That's true.
So being a sidekick is awesome. No one they can walk on the street. They're a billionaire, but no one knows who they are. And that could be a really good life.
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I mean, when you're a business owner, entrepreneur, you do have to kind of, like you're saying, you got a mastermind group. It's not just about running a business. You're trying to get in the right rooms with the right people to get some edge, to learn those you could just be having a casual conversation with somebody that fundamentally, when you leave, changes your business forever.
100%. And you've interviewed a lot of people on your podcast too, and I'm sure you've walked out thinking, wow. That
right in the middle of him, right in the middle of the podcast, I'm going, oh my gosh, this is great information. Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's like, whoa, I didn't know that. I don't know if you've interviewed any accountants.
I just did. Yes.
Some smart accountants out there. I met this accountant who, through a mutual friend, and this accountant only does accounting for high net worth individuals. That's his niche. I only do accounting for people who have a $10 million asset portfolio or more. So very niche accountant. I met him through a mutual friend. We were just having lunch together, and he's just asking me about my business and all that kind of stuff, and a few things about how I'm structured. And he realized that I wasn't optimized for this tax in Australia called GST. And he said, there's this rule here that you don't have to pay that for overseas income. And I'm like, really? Because most of my income is from America because I got American clients.
That's true.
And he's like, you don't have to pay. Trust me, go to your accountant, tell them this specific thing, and then put it back on them. And if they argue with you, you should sack them because they're wrong. And I'm like, okay. So I went to my accountant, told him this thing that I learned from this guy. Again, I wouldn't have learned it if I didn't speak him. And turns out he was right. And I got a $400,000 refund.
What?
One lump sum from the government. And I tell you what, they probably thought I was selling drugs or something like it.
Yeah. Oh man,
Like,
that's so great.
can you imagine like a $400,000 refund that was backdated for like a 3 or 4 year period, and I was overpaying on something I didn't need to pay just on one conversation at lunchtime with an accountant. And not only was the refund $400,000, my business from this point forward, that happened about 2 years ago, like I'm not paying that. I'm saving that every year, like every year. So it's like, I don't know. He saved me arguably like over the next 20, 30 years of my career, maybe $10 million, like it's just crazy.
Yeah. And just think if you didn't have, I think you start to understand too, when you get around those type of people, you look for that signal. That one thing that they say, you go, I'm going to have to investigate what they said. I'm going to have to look at, you could have just walked away and just blew it off. You could have.
Yeah.
You didn't.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean? You could have blown it off.
Yes.
If that came from somebody else, you might have.
That's right. And so it's interesting. You're right. It made me think, you're talking about entrepreneurs before and a different mindset and stuff. I think open-mindedness and having a curious mindset is
so valuable.
Yep, you're right. Like things change so fast, but the only way we can adapt with the changing world right now, with AI and everything coming in, is just having that curious, adaptable, open mindset to change. Yeah.
Yes. You can't be rigid, especially this day and age right now. I was getting coffee earlier, getting prepped up for this podcast because I knew it was going to be a longer evening kind of podcast.
Oh, you're not going to sleep now.
But I was, I'm so obsessed right now with scale systems, and I envision, okay, I'll give you an example. We just closed on this property out in Seattle. We're going to be developing it, right? I want the minute the property closes, that a chain of events to happen with AI, internally, that just start the ball rolling, whether it's emails going out to people, to this getting done, to this getting ordered, all the way down to doing taxes. Like I want everything so systemized that when it comes up onto a calendar, it's triggered, right? Boom, boom, boom. In theory, I see where this is gonna be set up. I know it's gonna be. I'm gonna obsess over it for quite some time until it gets dialed in. I know that AI will get me there. I know I'm gonna have to hire somebody through Upwork to do this type of automation. But that is the thing about being an entrepreneur, a business owner. You have to be open to different ideas and how to explore those ideas over time and execute that. And it might take a long time to get there. But then when you do get there, you look back and go, okay, cool. I saw that was a big, hard problem that I solved, right? On to that next problem. But I think that's the thing about, we always have to be curious about things. And, you really could have missed that opportunity. You really could have.
Yeah.
But I think that you're curious enough you took in that information, and then you took action, went back and brought it up, and then come to find out that 400,000, that's to your family and went straight to your business. Like that could have catapulted you into all kinds of things.
Yeah,
right?
Straight to the casino,
Momentum,
put on red,
everything.
bubble it. Nah. No.
A little vacation.
Yeah.
But then back to business.
Las Vegas, here we go.
I'm curious, what were you doing in your first few jobs? Where are your first few jobs?
Yeah, well, I studied optometry. I was in university for 5 years. And so I was an optometrist for 10 years. But while I was studying optometry, I was just working bits and pieces here and there just to make some money on the side, just to, support I was still living at home while I was in university, but delivering pizzas was my first job. Delivering pizzas. I was a driver for Pizza Hut, and I worked in this optical store. while I was in uni. And then obviously when I graduated, I became an optometrist and did that for 10 years. But driving and delivering pizzas back in the day, over 20 years ago, 25 years ago, it was crazy.
Customer service,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
dealing with
yeah,
clients. So you were kind of setting the pace to where you're going to go today, I think, in a little
yeah,
bit, right?
100%,
Yeah.
100%.
Did you think this is would be where you are today if you had to look back 20
No,
years ago?
no
No.
way. No way. No way. No way. No way.
Isn't that interesting when you look back?
Yeah.
Because we get
Yeah.
stuck in our like what we're doing and everything that's going on, the commotion. But if you had to step back and go, God, never thought I'd be right here.
Exactly. Because 8 years ago, I lost everything in real estate. And it wasn't a COVID thing or GFC 2008 thing. This was in 2016, like 2016, 2017. I got wiped out in real estate. I had 13 properties, wiped out pretty much overnight because I over leveraged, bought some in mining towns, which was like very high risk. And, boom, 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 mining industry collapsed and I went down with it. And so at that point in my life, I was 33 and I thought, nah, that I'm broke. I got no money. I did not imagine my life to be like that at 33. And then obviously that led to me, doing a lot of personal development and self-help and getting coaching myself. And then, yeah, 8 years later, 9 years later, bounced back now. And yeah, definitely way further ahead than I was 8 years ago, plus more and more and more and more. And so I definitely did not expect life to be this way for sure.
Was the coaching profound right off the bat? Could you already tell you're getting a reset? Like, did you get the signals that you were going in a different direction? Okay, yes, I'm rebounding here, but now I'm on a new path visually. So
Yeah.
doesn't really matter what happened in the past. I'm leaving that behind and it's part of my story, but now it's time to focus on this future.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. I think that's
Yeah.
great. I
I
don't
would
think there's,
also just, yeah, having coaching was the first time I actually properly surrounded myself with someone at a higher level than me, Yeah. I basically that was the first time I bought a friend. So
yes.
yeah. Yeah. And it was a great friend to buy and it changed my life.
How much and did you have that money set aside? Break down that
Yeah.
because at
Well,
that point you said you lost everything.
yeah, that's right. So I had negative $1.2 million in equity, right?
Whoa.
Negative equity. And the interest was like 5% or whatever it was. And so I was on an interest only loan because I couldn't pay back principal. And interest was like $60,000 a year. And the properties weren't getting rented. And I was only earning $120,000. And so there was no way I could be able to service that loan. It was like I had to just declare bankruptcy. And so I had $50,000 left in cash in my bank account. And if you declare bankruptcy, well, you should go spend your cash because they're just going to take it. So, but you can't buy a tangible asset like a car or a watch or a bag, where it is, because when you get bankrupt, they'll just sell that and then they'll take it. So if you had $50,000 left in your bank account and you're about to go bankrupt and you want to go spend it, I don't know if it's the right thing to do, but the bank's going to take it. So you know what I'm trying to say?
Buy a friend.
Yeah,
It's
that's
time to
right.
buy a couple friends.
You're right. Like this is a crazy thing. I thought, well, if I go buy a $50,000 watch and I declare bankruptcy, they're going to sell the watch. They're going to seize the watch and sell it and get their money. If I buy like a property and put a down payment on a property or whatever,
they're taking it.
Taking everything. And so $50,000 spending spree. Let's go. So option number one, let's go Las Vegas. Option number two, blow it on, I don't know, the pub and bring your friends out and just everyone have a great night and just have a balling night. Or option number three, I spent it on myself, which is self-education. And so I've dropped $15,000 into Tony Robbins. I went to a Tony Robbins event. I was like, whoa, I was blown away. He had this $15,000 upsell. I bought that. And then I had $35,000 left. I'm like, what else can I buy? This is so good. I was so immersed in personal development. I started reading books on people who lost it all and got it back. And I'm thinking,
Mm.
there has to be a way for me to get this back. I don't know how. So that's why I decided self-education. And then my first coach was Scott Harris, and I dropped $25,000 on him because that was his highest tier package. And I had the money, and I was going to go bankrupt anyway. I didn't care. 25 grand on him. And so now I've just dropped $40,000. And then I spent $5,000 on this other marketing course. And then after doing that for a whole year, I built up the mindset that I actually don't need to go bankrupt. Because the only way to get out of my situation was I couldn't control the market. The only reason why $60,000 a year in paying off debt was a problem for me was because I was earning 120. If I was earning 500, then it wouldn't be such a big deal because it's all relative. If I was earning $1 million and I was paying off $60,000 a year, no big deal. You know what I'm saying? So that was kind of, I thought, wow. So then how do I start earning $1 million a year then? So it doesn't become, because I really did not want to go bankrupt. I felt like I was giving up. I felt like I was cheating the system. I just didn't want to do it. And so I started my own business, became an entrepreneur, set a goal to make $1 million a year so that the $60,000 doesn't have to be a problem anymore. And to this day, I still have that debt.
What?
Yep.
Crazy.
Yep. But it doesn't make a difference because last year we made $7 million. And so $60,000 is nothing. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
That's
a tax benefit now.
Yeah, exactly. And I still got my credit rating. I still got everything, you know what I mean? So, but it came from dropping the last 50K I had on myself. And the pleasant surprise that came with that was that I thought I was stuck and I thought I had no option. And I thought that it was my destiny. And what I learned from that whole experience was you're never stuck. Stuck is an illusion. You always have options, and your options are dictated by who you surround yourself with, and the quality of options you have in your life are dictated by your peer group. And so my peer group uplifted massively in the 12-month period, and I started learning from people who had turned their life around from a financial collapse, from a business collapse, from almost going bankrupt and turning the situation around and restructuring everything like that. And now I realize, wow, if they can do it, I can. And I read Donald Trump's, one of his books, The Art of the Deal, where he was $900 million in debt. And he was walking down the street and he looked at the homeless person. He said, that homeless person is richer than me because he's on zero and I'm on negative 900. And I thought, wow. And he fought his way back from that. And I thought, I can do this. I really built the confidence and the belief that I could do it. But also I was presented with great options in my life as well because I was surrounding myself with the right people. And that's why I believe wholeheartedly that everything happens in your life because of who you spend time with. And the reason why I lost all my money was because I didn't actually have mentorship. I did it all on my own and I made some really critical mistakes because I tried to guess it all. And so I didn't have the right pathway. I just followed the news. I followed what I thought was right, but I never got any expert advice because I was a know-it-all. And we kind of started this conversation around the more successful you become, the more you realize you don't know. The more you don't know. And it kind of comes full circle in that story there.
And this could have went a whole different way.
Yeah, had I spent the last $50,000 on Vegas. So, but legit, yeah.
Sure, it could have been a whole bunch of different things for you.
Yeah.
It could have been just, that money could have been what you lived off, I don't know. There could have just been so many different other unforeseen things, but it seemed like your back was against the wall and you had to make a decision and you executed correctly, probably, and it was probably a little bit uncomfortable too.
Yeah.
But you had some serious faith in yourself and that, this was going to have a pretty good outcome, or you had a good vision of the future.
Yeah.
No, a lot of people wouldn't take it that direction. Like that's a pretty cool story.
All credit to like personal development, all credit to that, like being around people who never gave up, being around people who always was creative with options and were resourceful and had that mindset that no matter what happens, I'll figure out a way. I didn't have that mindset before that. I definitely didn't have the mindset of whatever happens, I'll figure it out. To me, there were many things in life that were not figure outable, which is a big lie. So yeah, definitely doing personal development, surrounding myself with the right people was the key.
That's great. So tell me what your business is now to this day. What are you doing?
We help beginner coaches, entrepreneurs, experts we help them grow their business. We run a coaching and training company. So we help them grow their businesses to full-time income so they can leave their current job. And usually most people, I think, don't quote me on this, about 78% of people are not satisfied with their job. It's not fulfilling. They just don't know what else they want to do. And sometimes coaching is very attractive to them. And so we help them replace the income and do what they love full time. And we'll also train them as well in the skill sets of being able to coach. And so we run a coaching and training company.
What's the difference between a coach and a mentor?
Great. Coaching and mentoring. So the key difference between a coach and a mentor is a mentor will tell you what to do. And here's the steps. Here's a hack. Here's a shortcut. Like, do this, you get this result. So it's very authoritarian, kind of direct, military style instructions. Whereas coaching is asking questions to help them figure it out and come with a solution on their own. So, for example, if I was mentoring, you say you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, right?
Yeah.
If I was mentoring a horse, I'd say I would just put salt in the hay and make it thirsty, right? So how do you make a horse thirsty? Just give it a salt lick and then it'll drink, right? Whereas if I was coaching the horse, I'll ask a horse a series of questions. Hey, tell me about your life and what are you looking to achieve? And would you be open to trying some salt? I think this will really enhance your meal right now. And the horse says, oh yeah, I'll be open to that. Great. So where to from here? Here's the salt. What would you like to do? Yep, give it to me. I'll try it. And so now the horse is making a decision to kind of take the salt lick. So I know it's a funny, weird example, but coaching is leading people to the answer for themselves, and mentoring is just telling them the answer. Just telling them the answer.
Thank you for explaining that. And I think it's very interesting. I didn't really know exactly what you did when I saw that clip with Omar, to be really honest with you, but I liked what you had to say. And I felt like you were very authentic, and I just DM'd you. Okay. So, but let's fast forward to today. In between this time period, I was getting coached by Jason Dries, who is Brandon Turner's coach. And he used to run Bigger Pockets. So a big real estate investor. So I got coached by a gentleman on Jason's team. And he threw out an email recently that said, hey, love to get some of my past students on my podcast. So I jumped on. And he was explaining this scenario too, because I'm getting into, I guess, coaching, mentoring first-time investors how to buy a property out of state. And it just kind of organically fell in my lap just by doing content. People would reach out to me, or like some friends and past clients, and everybody's like, hey, do you think you can mentor me? And I'm like, well, I don't know. It's kind of a long time period. There's a lot to it. And I'm just now going through this whole, the rabbit hole of being a coach. But when I went on Jason's podcast, he's like, you need to be coached too. You're not being coached anymore. Like, you need a coach. You're helping all these other people out, but you're not helping yourself. What are you doing? It was deep. It was deep. And those are the good things. That's what you want to hear. You want to hear the things that make you uncomfortable to push you forward.
Yes. And credit to you.
If you're comfortable, man, there's no reason that things are going to be just like this.
Dude, like what's that saying? If you make life easy on the front end, it's hard on the back end. If you make life hard on the front end, it's easy on the back end. So something like that. It's going to be hard either way. You got to choose your hard. Choose your hard wisely. Do you want it hard now, or do you want it hard later? So that's kind of choose your hard.
Easy ain't going to get you that far, honestly. It won't get you to the high levels of the goals that you want. That's a given. I promise
right.
on that
And that's
one.
why I have a cold shower every day. Every day I have a cold shower to train my mind that I need to do things that are not easy. And I've been having a cold shower every day for the last 5 years. Even when I was sick with COVID, I'm like, I can't skip a day. I got to keep on going. And I get sick as a dog. And then I just did it anyway. Probably shouldn't have done that, but
yeah, like killed your COVID right away.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I didn't need a shot. I just had a cold therapy, and now COVID's dead. Can't live in this.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about you. You published a book.
Yep.
Was that something that through your mastermind group, somebody put that in front of you? Was it something you wanted to do and someone helped you execute? I'm just curious about this.
Yeah, that's right.
I
That's
know
right.
that in a
Well,
mastermind group, you can put something out there and someone's going to hold you accountable.
yeah. So, you know how sometimes you take for granted on things you find easy, but other people find it hard? You're
Mm.
like, that's so easy. What do you mean? Just do that. You don't think it's anything genius. It's like, no, it's not. It's not a genius thing. It's just, you just do that. But
Yeah.
but sometimes it is a genius thing. It's no, you do it and you do it so well. And I don't even know how to do it. I hope you hope you realize that you're a genius. You know what I mean? So we often don't realize that what we find easy sometimes can be like a superior genius thing. And so I used to do this marketing framework for beginner coaches. So as a coach or entrepreneur, like to get clients online, you have to market yourself. But there's so many ways you can market yourself. Like in real estate, you can cold call, you can door knock, you can letter drop, you can run a Facebook ad, you can DM, you can do affiliates, you can do JVs. Like, which way am I going to market myself as a beginner real estate
Yeah.
agent? I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah, it's overwhelming. And certain things that you do require a skill set to do it. So, for example, if you're going to do an ad, then you probably need to learn how to speak on camera. You need to learn how to speak persuasive language. You need to learn what a hook is. You need to learn copywriting. You need to learn all these things. And so if you're a beginner and you have to learn these skills to do that, well, chances are an ad is not going to work for you because you haven't even got the skill to do it, let alone get a proven message and a proven offer out there and all that kind of stuff. If you're doing door knocking, then you have to learn the skill of sales and salesmanship and persuading a cold person to actually buy something. So inherently, every marketing vehicle, not just in the coaching space, requires 2, 3, 4 skills you have to have a prerequisite to learn to make that marketing thing work. And that's why most people fail at the beginning, because most marketing vehicles require you to have base skills that they don't tell you about to make the thing work. Even cold calling, you need the skill of like, you need to learn
Communication.
how to communication, 100%, 100%. And then obviously you need the mindset, which is a skill in its own to handle rejection.
Yes.
So all those things now, and the coaching space are the same. So every marketing vehicle in the coaching space, there's a webinar, you could run a group challenge, you could do a podcast, you could write ads, you could do organic traffic, you could cold DM, you could do all these things, but they all require skills to do that. And so that's why most beginner coaches, they fail, not because they're not good enough, but because they don't have the skill to effectively market. And so I wouldn't say I discovered, but I was teaching a much superior way to market as a coach that didn't require any of those skills. You didn't have to be good at tech. You didn't have to learn how to speak on camera. You didn't have to learn anything. And as we're talking, oh my gosh, I got my daughter coming through right now.
All right. The appearance is coming.
And look at the appearance. Check this
Yeah,
out.
let's see the
Oh my
outfit.
gosh. Ah, she fully dressed. I told you. I told you.
Hi. Oh, I love your outfit. That's so
Yeah.
great.
Wow. Wow. Well, she did.
Did she put the makeup on before? Like, did you see the makeup on?
No,
before
you
you
literally
started?
did it while I was on here.
Oh, that's hilarious. I love it.
That's what I meant. I said, but my 4-year-old is going to come down. She's a bit like a.
Yeah,
She's
I love it. That's so cute. It's so cute.
She's putting on all of mummy's expensive makeup, and then
It's all the lipsticks all ruined.
No, she's not.
Should not. Okay.
Putting on kids' makeup.
I just put on kids makeup.
Oh,
They
it's
got
kids. Okay.
kids makeup, like
It's washable.
kids makeup, like I don't know. I don't know.
There you go again, marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Let's go
Kids
crazy.
makeup. I mean,
That's
yeah.
nuts.
You mark anything to kids. Hey, Carter, Daddy's just on a podcast. This is Steven.
Hi.
Yeah. And so I developed a marketing vehicle that didn't require tech skills, speaking skills, copywriting skills, even much experience. You didn't have to be super clear in your offer, your niche. And that marketing vehicle is a 5-day challenge done one-on-one. So if you're a beginner, do a 5-day challenge one-on-one with you and another person. What it means is you don't have to do a launch. You have to worry about what times to do it because it's one-on-one. You just schedule in the time. Kind of like we scheduled in this time because this is the one-on-one call. And so you're not bound to a fixed time. It's extremely flexible. And as you're doing it, you get experience. You don't have to worry about tech because you can literally call someone on the phone on the one-on-one call, or just jump on Zoom, which is easy. And you don't have to worry about speaking to an audience because it's just one-on-one. And so for a person that's completely brand new and starting out, one-on-one 5-day challenge, or I call it a tiny challenge, is like the far superior way to get started because you don't need to learn all the skills involved. And so I wrote the book about it, and Russell Brunson fought it, involved in any other thing. And so because it's the easiest, simplest, quickest, least stressful way to get started online, I didn't realize it was a genius thing that I had invented. We've been teaching it for 4 years. And then one of my friends in the mastermind said, Richmond, what do you do again? Tell me that. And I said, yeah, just the one-on-one 5-day challenge. I said, what do you call that? I don't have a name for it. It's just a one-on-one 5-day challenge. That's the most genius thing I've heard. You need a name for that. And you need to market that front end, and you need to write a book on it, and let's figure a name together. And so number one, he gave me the belief and made me recognize that it was a genius thing. And he said, how many students get results? And I said, all of them. Like, we haven't had, yeah. I'm like,
that probably got him back too. He's probably
yeah. Because we haven't had a person that has not made money from doing a 5-day one-on-one challenge. It's just how many have they done before they make the first dollar. Some people need to do the first 5 or 6 or 7, boom, they get a sale. Some people do 10 and they get the first sale on the 10th one, which is okay because you can do 10 in a month because it's very easy to do. You can do 2 or 3 a week, which is very easy because the calls are half an hour long. You could do 5 in a week if you want. And so to get your first 10, it can be done in 2 weeks. You can do your 10 in a week if you wanted to. Like, it's so flexible, so easy. And so we have not yet had a student that our worst record is they had to do 12 tiny challenges before they made the first dollar. 12. Okay. How long did it take you to do 12? Oh, it only took me a couple of weeks. Good. Awesome. Yeah.
Are they doing cold calling? So what's the break down their framework?
So they'll just do a post. They just do some general content online, like on Instagram or Facebook. Mm-hmm. It might be a story. It might be a quick reel. It might be just a written post, which ChatGPT can do. And they do a call to action. Hey, so for example, if I was a real estate coach, I'll be like, hey, I'm looking to work with 5 people, one-on-one, for free, one-on-one, 5 days, for 5 days to help them get 5 listings. Just shoot me a DM or tag someone that might be interested. And suddenly they got 5 DMs saying, I want to work with you for free, one-on-one for 5 days to get me 5 listings. And I'm like, yep, cool. I can only tag on 5 people. And so, ask a series of questions. How committed are you? Are you ready to do the homework? Boom, done. And then you run it. You run the 5-day challenge on your phone, on Zoom, no tech, no speaking, no crazy funnels, no back-end email reminder system or anything. It's just Google Calendar. And you're off. Like, you literally get started right now. Whereas if you run like a big webinar, you have to figure out the
huge
dates.
Infrastructure.
Yeah. Like, oh my, do I do it on a Monday at 10 o'clock? Do I do it Tuesday at 3 p.m.? Do I do it at 8 p.m.? What about the no-shows? What if only one person shows up? What if no one shows up? What if 10 people show up, but they all have their cameras off? Oh my gosh, I'm stressed. I'm overwhelmed. I don't even know how to speak to a camera. And so all these things, they becomes techie. And so the overwhelm is huge for every other vehicle. And this one, you don't have any of those stresses. And so that's why, yeah.
That's good. And it's almost like a barrier entry that once they get in there, if they do gain clients, that gains them confidence and momentum that they can do those next phases and start really layering in other things. And
100%. The number one reason why entrepreneurs give up is not because they're not good enough, but it's because they don't make money fast enough.
That's true.
So, yeah. And imagine you're in the game for 6 months and you haven't made any money yet. You are going to give up. But if you've made your first dollar within the first week or 2 weeks, and you didn't have to learn all those skills that you required, because to learn skills to make marketing work, you could be 6 months down the train to learn sales, to learn marketing, to learn tech, to learn speaking. And now you're 6 months down with time and probably monetary investment, then you get started. Whereas Tiny Challenge, you can get started right now. And so because our students, they make the first dollar in a very short amount of time, they don't quit. It's like they got the taste.
Gives them momentum. They get excited.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep. And so
cool.
I don't quit.
That's great. So give me a little background on the book. Is the book just a more elaborate version of what you
Yeah,
teach? And okay,
exactly. The book shows you on how to run a successful tiny challenge, how to structure the 5 calls. Each call is 30 to 45 minutes long. What to say in the calls. It's even got scripts in there and the order and sequence, and then how to present the offer at the end. After every call, there's going to be homework assigned. And how do you think about homework? You got to be very deliberate with the homework and what's the homework look like? How do you hold them accountable to doing the homework? And then more importantly, how do you make this an event that's choreographed so it gets to the end and they just want to pull out the wallet and say, take my money. So
take
it's
my
very,
money.
yep, it's like, take my money. So how do you choreograph it in a nice sequential order that's easy for you to follow, that's easy for you to do as a beginner, but also where at the end they're like, it becomes a no-brainer for them.
So you know that my podcast is mostly geared towards real estate investors, but
Yeah.
here's the
They
thing,
can do it. I've got a few real estate. Yeah. Yeah.
and I think
So
what you're doing is a perfect, like the fact that we recorded this, there's a lot of real estate investors out there that have people that want to be guided by them. I mean, that's just how it
yes.
goes, especially if you're already, shooting content or doing stuff online, they find out this is the perfect segue. Like this
Yeah.
challenge is a good way to start.
So if you're a real estate investor and you're looking for a coach, and if you're a real estate coach and you're watching this right now, I would make this offer. I would say if you're real estate coaches, a lot of real estate coaches out there, there are tons. And I would say, hey, I'm looking for 5 investors who want to work with me for free, one-on-one for 5 days. And in those 5 days, I'm going to build them a step-by-step game plan on how to build a $10 million property portfolio in under 3 years, debt-free. And if you like, I'm just making it up. I'm just making it up, right?
I want to join that one.
Yeah. Yeah. But I can take 5 people. It's 5 people one-on-one. If you're a real estate coach, right? And then everyone's going to put up their hand and then you deliver. And then at the end of the 5 days, you're like, would you like my help implementing this? Or would you like to implement it on your own? And they're like, I want your help. And then that's the offer. You make the offer and that's it. And if you're a real estate coach offering that in the marketplace, I guarantee you are going to be wildly successful because no one else is offering that offer in the marketplace. And everyone else is offering a webinar, jump on my webinar, jump on my masterclass, jump on my whatever it is. And they'll, you will crush. You will crush it.
I think it's, do you ever like follow the signals of the universe, like through your life? Like, do you ever follow the signals, of things that come up in your life?
I do. And I don't know.
For good and bad, I guess.
Oh, no. I do believe someone's looking after me. I really believe that. I've had a lot of grace in my life, So, yeah.
Well, and I think the same thing of bringing you on today, because I just literally was telling you, but look, my marketing agency that I hired a few months ago, they're based in Australia.
Wow.
And I hired them, right? And, we thought we were going to get started and build out a community. And, I've already been, I want to call it coaching, mentoring students already, but very under the radar, because I knew when I took them on, we would talk every week, a couple times a week. Like it was in depth. And I get concerned, like, what if we did a webinar and all of a sudden I had 30 students? How am I taking on 30 students? How am I going to put this kind of energy? How am I going to integrate this into because I have multiple businesses. Like, how am I going to do that? Is it going to be lacking because it's not me in front of them all the time? Giving them that energy that I have, because the students I have now, it's one-on-one. Like I've had them for more than a year, and I've watched them grow. And now, so I hired this team in Australia and we start off and it's like this whole holistic scenario. It's not even what I expected. It's a ground up, like, hey, we have to get you ready mentally. Like we got to make sure that you're ready to put this out to the world. And it's just funny that, I had Jason Dries, the other coach on there, had you, and it's all these like stories I keep hearing them, and it's kind of coming to me to prep me. It's really strange, but in a very good way. It's in a very good way.
Yeah. So good. So good.
Now
so
I'm going to, get your book. It's on Amazon, right?
It's on Amazon, but you can just go straight direct to my funnel because it's free.
What? Okay. All right.
Just got to pay for shipping.
Okay.
Or you can go to Amazon and pay $30.
Okay.
It is free. Just got to pay $10 for shipping. That's it.
That's so awesome.
I
So
know.
much value,
I
so
know.
much value right there.
Yep.
And
100%.
then it all came from, so back up
Being
to
in a
the story
mastermind.
from the mastermind.
Yep. I was sitting on gold that I didn't even know.
Wow. So the biggest takeaway of this episode is to get in the right rooms around the right people. It's a big one.
Yep. 100%. Your life will change drastically.
Do you have old friends still?
I do. And I still have old friends. There's certain friends I don't spend as much time with anymore.
Yeah.
They're very different thinking, but I still cherish them. I still love them. Yeah.
Yeah.
But my circle is very different now.
Yeah. That's a hard one as you change, as time goes on, when you start to
Yeah.
get in different rooms and you just have different thoughts and beliefs and things.
That's right. And to be fair, the majority of the friends that I didn't spend time with was their choice because they didn't know how to handle me growing so fast. You know what I mean? So I say this might be a great quote, to wrap up or whatever it is. Achievement only proves one thing about a man, and that's how competent he is. So achievement only proves your competency. Adversity proves your character. And
That's
so
perfect.
you want to find out someone's character, go through adversity with them. But the converse is also true when someone becomes... So, when I lost everything, $1.2 million in the property market 8 years ago, I found out who my real friends were. And some people just didn't support me, didn't want to be with me anymore, thought I was a loser, blah, blah, blah. And some people thought, no, I don't care what happens to this guy. I'm going to help him out and be with him regardless of, whatever it is. So that was awesome. And that first person that supported me was my wife, Penny. And so she stuck with me. She didn't blame me. We had to downsize. And it was a really beautiful experience for our relationship because I realized she was genuinely there for me. And she said, doesn't matter what happens, we got each other, And so that was awesome. And I can imagine, unfortunately, some intimate spousal relationships, if you lose everything, then I don't know, your partner will not handle that well and they may leave. You know what I mean? So that's the true reality. And so I found out who my true friends were when I went through that. And then the converse is true. When you become wildly successful, you also find out who your true friends are because some people try to bring you down. They belittle you. They say, oh, look at you now. You're too good for us now. And they're like, no, I'm actually building out a webinar right now. I'm building this book launch. I'm doing this. I'm just really extremely busy for the next 3 months. And it's like, oh, you're too good to hang out with us now. It's like, well, no, I'm actually like, I really want to get this book out and it's really time consuming, So things like that, people call it tall poppy syndrome. So tall poppy syndrome. So most of my friends that I had spent time with was by their choice, not mine. They chose not to do it when I was failing and they chose not to do it when I became successful. So then that's life. People come into your life for a reason, a season, a lifetime. So
yeah, I really appreciate you, sharing your story. Once again, I thank you for joining on. You didn't have to answer that DM. I'm glad you did. You know what I mean? I just gotta shoot my shot. Like, I was in the moment. You were on Omar's podcast. I'm like, I want to get him on. Let's just see.
I love it, man.
Why not?
I love the entrepreneurial hustle. I love it.
Like,
Yeah.
What am I gonna lose?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. I don't know if you know Andy Elliott.
No.
So Andy Elliott is the #1 sales trainer in the world right now. He does he trains sales teams for big companies. Last year, he personally made $160 million last year. And he's an ex-military guy. He's really jacked and ripped, and he only hires his sales team. You can only work for him if you got a 6-pack because yeah. So I shot him a DM. I said, hey, Andy, I see you do a podcast and, you're looking for extra guests and stuff like that. And then we connected and next minute now I'm going to be on his podcast and we're going to have a gym session together in Arizona and, just from outreach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You shot. You reached out. That says a lot right there. You know what I mean? Some people wouldn't. You'd be afraid. What could that outcome be like?
Yeah, exactly.
You can't get rejected.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
That's so great. Yeah. When is this happening?
In 8 weeks.
Cool. Really cool.
Yeah.
And do you do you work out?
I do, but I'm not jacked, So yeah, but I do work out.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
He's gonna put you through it then.
Yeah, he is. He
Yeah.
is. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, I appreciate you jumping on today.
Well,
Where can
Stephen.
the audience find you?
Oh, they can go to my social media handle is Richmond Dinh. Richmond Dinh. So you can find me on Instagram or Facebook on Richmond Dinh. Or if you look up my YouTube channel, it's Richmond YouTube. Richmond YouTube. That's it.
Speaking of YouTube, I want to thank you for something, actually. So you put out a video, and let's just say that I was in your own little mini mastermind, because if I watch a video of yours, I'm in your little mini mastermind. But I'll tell you something you said. You were talking about doing YouTube, about, hey, do a video. If it's 30 minutes, that's 30 videos on short form, right? Just
Yeah.
crank them out. And I've been holding back on doing YouTube because I'm a local agent in Silicon Valley. And I started off on YouTube talking about just, buying and selling. But my passion was more the investing side and developing and all that. So I kind of put it on the back burner. And this year was the year I was like, okay, I'm going to go into it full this year. You put out that video. 3 days later, I shot 3 YouTubes in a row. And we got, I don't know, 70 short form videos from it. Like the minute I shot them, I finished. I'm like, okay, this is the way to do it. Like, I just love long form because you can kind of relax and talk and let them chop it up. So I like to thank you that you actually got me back into doing it. And now I'm going full force.
Nice, man. Good work, Stephen. Good work, man. Awesome,
thank you
bro.
for the
nudge. You're welcome, man. You're welcome.
Well, right on, man. I don't want to keep you. I know it's Tuesday, 11 o'clock in the morning, and it's Monday at 6 o'clock
6
my
p.m.
time.
for you. Cool.
And I'm glad that I didn't
Stephen.
forget what I was talking about during this pod. I was actually a little stressed on it. Like before I got on, I was like, okay, is this going to be good? And, I was getting a little nervous because there is a system to how I do this. But you know what? It comes back down to, getting out of your comfort zone and doing the things that make you uncomfortable, no matter what that outcome is. So I appreciate you jumping on today.
Nice, man. Nice. Cool. All right, Stephen. I'll catch you later, bro.
All right, buddy. Take care.
See ya.
Thank you for tuning into our show, where we hope you found inspiration and gained valuable insights. If you enjoyed this conversation and want to stay updated on our latest episodes, be sure to subscribe to our podcast and share it with others who might benefit from it. We appreciate your support and look forward to bringing you more candid conversations and breakthrough moments in the future. Until next time, take care and keep exploring new ideas and strategies.